This is a homage beat.
And like, we wouldn't have Louisiana, like the
Yeah.
actual thing. We wouldn't have a whole lot of different parts of the country if this hadn't went into
Yeah.
effect back then. Because like it was owned by people in other countries, so like we hadn't went into these different agreements
Yeah.
and commitments. We wouldn't have the land that we're blessed to have now in this country.
Nah, and the whole point, and I think that's great, because the whole point I'm trying to get people to see is that contracts is not like some foreign thing that's
Yeah.
been going on throughout
Yeah.
history.
Yeah.
Again, like the whole point is a known concept. We see this, like I said, just in everyday life.
Yeah.
We see it historically. Some of the treaties that I found were the Treaty of Versailles, and I've heard of it before. I just never knew what it
Yeah,
was.
I heard of it.
It says it's the treaty that officially ended World War One. The Treaty of Ghent ended the War of 1812.
Okay.
And I say treaties are used generally a sign of peace between two or more nations. Therefore, the breaking of such treaty is a major offense. The breaking of a treaty is known as a breach. I say in 1758, a man by the name of Emmerich de Vittel wrote the Law of Nations, or the Principles of Natural Law. The book consisted of laws that the nations, the nations and international community universally abide or accede to out of sense of legal obligation and mutual concern. About breaches, Vitale says these treaties concern and bind whole nations and are the highest of importance. The breach of any of them infallibly rekindles the flames of war. So breaking any of these treaties will result in war. So it was important that both sides keep these treaties. So you see how important it is to honor a contract, especially in those contexts. But the whole point is you keep your word, because if you don't keep your word, there's going to be consequences. And again, we just see this historically. And I say treaties go as far back as human civilization. I said the first known recorded treaty is the Treaty of Kadesh. This treaty came 16 years after the Battle of Kadesh, which was fought between the Egyptians and the Hittites. And I think that's like super cool, because especially me as like a Bible nerd, like these are countries that we've seen in scripture. You know, I've heard of the Egyptians, I've heard of the Hittites, but we see that even they had some historical significance throughout history. And I don't think there's necessarily any overlap of this battle in biblical history, but these countries are mentioned in scripture, which again add to the validity of the historicity of scripture. Excuse me. And I say treaties are not some modern invention, but foundational to human civilization. Though the Treaty of Kadesh is the first known recorded treaty, there were clearly other treaties that were made. Written treaties are the most easily verifiable, but there were many treaties that were made verbally. Today, a person's word generally counts for nothing. However, in earlier times, one's word was extremely important. If a person said they would do something, their word was their bond. And even in today's day, it's like my word is my bond. It's like, if I say something, it mean I'm going to do it. Now, can you think of a time where someone gave you their word and they didn't keep it?
I mean, yeah, bro. Like, it could be as simple as like when we were talking earlier. Like, I said I'm gonna be here. I be there. I mean, I've done things. I've had people like, hey, let's go out to eat. Let's meet here at 7.
Yeah.
You get there at 7. It's 7:45 and you ain't heard nothing. So like something as simple as that can like break trust. That can mess with relationships. That can just do a lot of things to the psyche of a person. When you sit there and like, okay, and if it happens one time, you kind of like, okay, what's the excuse? But like, if you do that more than once, like you trust, and you can't really like anything this person says to you, it don't really hold no weight. The value of it seems to decrease, because you're like, okay, you telling me this, but all these other times you didn't do it. You told me you was gonna be here. You told me you was gonna commit to this, but you didn't do it. So like, how can I trust you?
What about, has there been a time where you gave somebody your word and you didn't keep it?
Something like, wife was like, hey, bro, you about to, she like, I need you to do what is like. I need you to do these dishes, or I need you to clean that up. Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna do it.
Nah.
Come back home, hear it knocking, hear it get in the driveway, like, oh snap! Gotta run and do it. So yeah, definitely have been on the other side, so I can talk about it and be like, yeah, people. But yeah, I've definitely been on the other side of like not holding to. I try my best. If I say I'm gonna be somewhere at a certain time, I be there, and if I'm not, I let you know.
Yeah,
but like, I definitely, that doesn't make me not. I still got to stick in the wood in my own eye with that. Like, yeah, I've said something. I know yesterday I was working like when I work at my job with the kids. I told them I'd be there to go talk to you, but then something else happens and I can't show up. So you don't know what that kid's had before and what's affected them. So you got to be very careful of like promising to do things. Because, I mean, you don't want your word to, like, lose value and lose respect. So
That's real. And when I was just going through and reading this, it made me think of, because I've told you got you before, but those listening, I'm into, and it always sounds weird because it sounds super, like, corny when you say it, but it's not. Like, I'm a fan of battle rap. And just that whole sport, and you can say what you want about it, where, you know, just the content is very explicit, but I see what they do as an art form, and I respect what they do. Don't necessarily agree with everything that they're saying, but it's so easy for those outside of the culture to critique those who are in it. But I'm from that culture. I'm from New York, so I understand it. I could come from the view of I understand. Don't necessarily agree. Don't necessarily, you know, condone the things that are being said, but I get it. I understand it. And as a fan of the culture, you just witness certain things. So I want to say it was last month, these two battle rappers, and if anybody's into battle rap, they know who these dudes are. It was Jims and this dude named Goods, and they was battling, and they was going back and forth, and the whole culture of battle rap is just one of disrespect, where how can I disrespect my opponent the most? And they not were only just battling back and forth, but they were talking in between each other's rounds, which a lot of people don't like. They just like the one dude to go and then the next dude to go and then not be any talking. But the dude started talking and just said that it was basically a he said, she said type of deal. And without getting into the particulars, just getting right to the main point, Goods essentially said he made a claim about Jim's doing something. Jim said, no, you're lying. And then Goods comes back and says, on my daughter, I'm not lying. Jim's responds and says, you're lying about that. Goods takes it as, you say I'm lying on my daughter, and then swings on the dude. And so I get Goods' frustration, because he said that the dude, Jim, said I was lying on my daughter. But issues, you brought up your daughter, number one. And then the other thing, the more important topic that I wanted to get on is, why do we swear by other things? Like we'll say, I swear by my mother, I swear by my dead grandmother, I swear by something. Because the whole point is trying to get that other person to believe that I'm truly honest about what I'm saying. But we swear on somebody else, and it's like, because I think even in scripture where it's like, say, God say, don't swear by my name. You know, don't swear by my name. But even God himself, I think, and I may be wrong, but God in a sense say, I swear by my own name. You know, and it's like, swear by your own name, not to say that you should swear, but essentially my whole point is that your word should be your word. If I say this, then that's I stand on what I'm saying. I ain't got to put it on my wife. I ain't got to put it on my daughter. I put it on me. That I'm telling you the truth. What are your thoughts about people who like swear by other things? And it's like, and I just think that whole concept is just so warped, where it's like, why you gotta swear by something else? And not to say that Goods is a dishonest person, because I think it's just a cultural thing, especially in our culture. We say, I put it on such and such. And it's like, put it on yourself, you know? But what are your thoughts about that? Because it just made me think of that situation, and just like, why we swear by other things? My word should be enough, you know?
Yeah, my thoughts are that, one, first off, I've done that before. Like, growing up, I mean, just culturally, I've said, like, hear somebody being like, I put it on my mom, like, you put that, like, you feel like that adds weight to it, that, like, if you say that, everybody's got to believe you. But growing older and continuing to do that, you start to see that the reason that we do that is some type of lack of accountability within ourselves, or choices we have made in our past that show that we are not really the stuff that we say or the stuff that we portray or what we're doing. That may not be who we really are. So we feel like we have to add something to it and add some weight to what we're saying. Like, oh, I swear on my dead grandma. Like, what does that really mean? Like, my grandmother's passed away. Like, I don't know what's going. Like, what does that really mean? Why do I have to swear upon something? Like, my word should be enough.
Yeah.
It should hold some weight. And that goes to like your reputation, like, and that's not even the reputation amongst people. It's your reputation with yourself. Like, you can look back because you're the one that looks back on your life and see, like, I've done this, I've done that, I've done that. So if I do this, I have to let everybody know that I'm accountable to it. So I gotta make sure I'm swearing on something. I gotta have somebody to come and hold me accountable. I need a person to speak up for me because what I'm doing, I can't speak up for myself because what I've done or said. It's not reputable. I need something else. I need you to show. I need you to. We should be, especially as believers, we should be able to say what we say. People should be able to look back on what we said and be able to like pull back the proof and be like, yeah, that man is a man of his word. That man is a man of integrity. But I mean, when we got to go to the point, it's not to disparage the dude that's on the battle rap because we all men, like as men, we've all done that. Like we've done that, but it's like as believers, we should be able to be accountable to what we say, get it done, and if we can't, let somebody know. Like, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna do this for you. My word should be bond, and we should be able to shake hands and do that.
Yeah.
Because I know back in history, like they used to shake hands for deals. Like, I'm gonna buy this car from you, and I'm gonna pay $5,000. Shake hands, we good. And like, if you broke that was a problem.
Yeah.
Like, because that was what they did. That was culturally okay. Like, that was like that's what we did because our word means something. But like, over years and generations and wanting to be instantly gratified, we probably have broken that by like being able to just want it as quick as we can, becoming selfish. So your thoughts can run deep on that, man. Like, it's like, why do we have to do that? Like, we should be able to, like, our words should be enough for that.
Yeah, two things. Number one, like you said, I'm actually a fan of Gus. I don't ever want it to come off as if I'm disparaging him as all. My whole point is just that cultural idea because we've all done it. We've all swore by something else. Because I think, and I wanted to do a little bit more study on swearing because I think essentially the whole point is if I'm lying, whoever I'm swearing on is going to die or something to that effect. And that's why you say I swear on my daughter because you wouldn't want your daughter to die. So that's why it's so significant of it. And so, again, I don't want to make it seem that I'm attacking goods. My whole point is attacking that idea that I got to swear by something else and that my word should be enough. But that comes in a problem, truth and lies. You know, because if you say something and I disagree, who's telling the truth? So it's like you got to go that extra one step further to prove that you're telling the truth. And again, that's a whole nother issue that we probably get to further down. But it's like you hit it right on the head. Just who am I as a person? What is my reputation? I think one of the things that makes me the most proud is not that I have to say anything about myself, but other people can testify on my character. One of the things, how me and my wife met, like, we didn't really talk, but she was asking around about me, and people had good things to say about me. And I think that holds weight. Like, what kind of person are you that you ain't got to swear by somebody else, that you can just say, yo, this is what I said, and that's enough.
That's enough.
You know, and it's like, it just points to, and again, we all unfaithful. I'm not trying to act like I've perfectly kept my word in all times, because I haven't. That's the whole point that I'm making, that none of us are faithful all the time. 100% of the time, none of us are faithful. But it just, when we talk about it, just made me think of that that time during that battle rap, because they started fighting, and like I said, I'm glad things are resolved, because a lot of these dudes, you know, they come from the streets, and they trying to use battle rap as a means to not resort to violence. And so when you see it in a controlled environment, and then you see violence happens, it messes up business for people, because they got to rent the venues, they got to do all this, that, and the third, and then there's animosity between the two that's outside of rap, that it's more personal beef. And so it was a real bad situation, but I'm glad things got resolved. Both of them handled it like men. Apologies.